Hey yogis, Taylor here, and today's topic is a little bit touchy, mainly because we've all been there as teachers. And that topic is how to create silence in the yoga room. All right. So I'm talking about meaningful, purposeful silence, not silence as in your music stops playing halfway through a flow. That would be different. We want to avoid that one. If you think about it, we've all been there. You walk into the room, you unroll your mat, you think, God, my body really needs this right now. I can't wait to practice. And about halfway through the practice, the teacher won't stop talking. You realize we're warm enough. We've been doing this flow now for a while. You can give me fewer cues. You can even talk less, and I would really enjoy it. And then all you can hear are the filler words and their voice, and sometimes it's unshakable. Now, it's obviously forgivable in a quick-moving class, but the worst for me is when you're in a very chill, restorative class and there is no downtime. It kind of defeats the purpose. As teachers, most of us are taught what to say, when to say it, and we're throwing a lot of cues at our students, but we're never taught really how to be quiet. We're never taught what not to say, and when to provide a void from our own speaking, from our own thoughts. That's really important, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that most of us do see silence as a void. We see it as an awkward vacuum, an inadvertent space that we've created in which students can their minds maybe start to wander, or they start to judge you, or they give you stink eye, or their grocery list and things they have to do just starts to work their way back into practice, and honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. So let's break it down. The first benefit is that it allows your students the time they need to receive your cue and then to work with it. When you think about it, when you're guiding a yoga class, you're actually asking a lot of things for the students to do, and these are very specific things like breathe, lengthen, reach, ground, press, extend, breathe again, relax, melt, open, etc. All right, so these movements and actions take time within the human body to set, to adjust, and to refine. For example, when we give our students a cue like lengthen the spine on your inhalation, and see if you can twist a little bit deeper on your exhalation, it's then beneficial to allow a few moments for them to explore that cue, to dance the dance that you've created, to observe any changes, to feel any effects, and ultimately to decide if that cue really served them or not. A lot of what we say in yoga it's flowery, all right? It's poetic. And so breezing through these cues or discussing deep philosophy without a moment to reflect and absorb it isn't really helping anyone. Practice allowing silence to highlight what you just said. It's a powerful tool, and often more important than adding even more words to describe what's going on in your own head. So give your students a chance to unravel, a chance to soak up what you said, and to move through it. The human body takes time to process and then to do what you've asked. Give them a chance to soak that up. The next benefit is you save something for the next go around. So it can be really tempting to tell our students all the things that they should be doing and feeling within a sequence or a set of poses. I mean, after all, we've been studying this stuff, and we know it will make them feel better if they do it. That was our experience. But we also want to tell them how they probably got to this point in their lives, that they need to drink more water, that their sedentary lifestyles are killing them, that they need more yoga, they need to practice more. We want to tell them about our next event that's coming up. And of course, you don't want to forget that awesome Rumi quote you stumbled across earlier in the week. This is overload. You have so much to share, but this is like trying to get to know everything about your partner on a very first date. It just doesn't work that way. That's not the way the game is played. Convince your students that what you have to offer is beneficial, but that this is just a taste, just a glimpse of it, and they'll keep coming back for more. You can even theme an entire class around one point or concept, like, for example, overcoming that sedentary lifestyle. And then flesh that out while saving your intellectual property, your talking points, and your energy for the next class. It just gives you something else to talk about the next time you see them, rather than throwing everything you know at them in some kind of buffet style and then hoping that something sticks. The next benefit is that you'll give your students some time to really make this practice and this process their own, to discover their own thoughts and to walk this path without your training wheels on. We encourage our students to go deeper and to get to know themselves, to have conversations with their inner voices, and to explore their mental landscape, so to speak. So it's our job to guide this process, but that's about all we can do. The rest is really up to them, and it's important that students get this time that they need so desperately to sit and observe, uninterrupted. As guides, we can facilitate this self-reflection and observation through our words or guided meditation, but then we need to step away and allow this process to work its magic. By continuing to just talk over their thoughts, we're distracting them from their process of unraveling. If you continue to throw your own thoughts, your own philosophies, while they're trying to have this inner conversation and get to know themselves, you're influencing that conversation. Practice setting the stage and carving the path for them, but then teach them how to walk it themselves. And lastly, when it comes to silence, there's no more important time for it than in final rest, in your Savasana. You can make guided rests, and those are definitely a good tool, but there's a difference between guiding this relaxation and blatantly just talking over it. Savasana to me is really sacred. One of the first comments I ever received when I started teaching on Yoga Glow, which is an online yoga platform, was from a woman who said, "A silent Savasana, oh my goodness, what a treat." And I didn't fully understand that because most of the Shavasanas I had ever been in were silent up until that point. And then I finally attended a class in which the teacher spoke the entire time. So I'm practicing the art of tuning people out, and you could ask my fiance, he'll tell you I'm really, really good at it. But when this teacher settled us into Shavasana and then kept talking, I almost raged. I was so mad. And I understand that this is my own issue of opinion, and had she given us some time or some silence, then perhaps I could have addressed those inner demons on my own, but she didn't. In fact, she actually kept calling us back mentally to her own stories and her own thoughts. I couldn't tune her out because she kept demanding our attention with more of her own reflections on her current situation and the quotes that she herself needed to hear. I left that class feeling frazzled and ungrounded. Look, as teachers, we should be sharing ourselves personally and authentically, and so I do really credit her bravery in that, but we are also supposed to act as mirrors to our students, not shadows. Our aim should be to reflect toward them relatable approaches to handling all of the life stuff that we encounter. But we shouldn't also overshadow them or their life stuff with our own life stuff. So allow Shavasana to be a final respite from not just the stressful and crazy world in which we live, but also from you. That might sting a little bit, but people need to hear silence. It's sacred, so leave them to themselves. All right, that is it. If you're like me and you tend to talk in life off the mat, then perhaps your teaching can also be a practice for you. Practice listening, watching, and providing meaningful silence, purposeful silence. The benefits are there not just for your students, but for you as well. It allows you to take a breath, to be more clear with your message, to avoid overloading your classes, to connect more with your students. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Until next time, yogis, I'm Taylor Harkness. Thanks for tuning in, and namaste.